Okay, let's start the Purple and Gold meeting today. Thanks for being here. It looks like a pretty nice crowd. And we appreciate, Tom, that you're getting the two coaches here. Well, we should have an excellent program. I was looking today at trying to find the 8-man football game, whichever it is, 9 or 8.
8.
And in South Dakota, it's 9-man, so I get confused easily. But anyway, so I was popping through the channels, and I've watched. Which is going to come sooner, the scoreboards or Channel 3? We're going to make a bet.
And we have both people.
Yeah. I don't know if they can or not. I'm kind of wondering. But anyway, it's great to have everybody here. Lindsey Phillips was going to be here to talk about big brothers and big sisters, but her boss, you know how that goes, sent her to Des Moines today to fill in for her. So that's one school member that's board member that's gone, a new board member. But anyway, she'll be back some other day. I told her it doesn't any good to talk to this group. Everybody's so old. I don't know how they could be a big brother or big sister anyway. That includes you, Joel. But anyway, she said age is not a factor, and she'd like to come back and talk again at another time. So we'll get her here. Roger, you got anything good for the cause?
I'm just glad to see it. I need everybody to, I'm sure you all have friends.
No, not this guy, not this
so
group.
Talk to your friends and try and get some more people here. I mean, it'd be great to have a much bigger showing when we get these speakers here and to talk to us about Muskie sports. That's about all I have, Jeff.
And if not, to begin with, and they didn't cover it. Coach at New there is a pig at Tyson's packing plant. He felt like and it worked out that way for him also. Now I did watch a little YouTube the other day, and only this group, Jack and session, got to talking about a number of things. How come? I got it. And then
the girls basketball coach, and Luke Torelli, our new head boys basketball coach, to both of them, the Muscatine High School and the Muskie family. So John, I'm going to turn the microphone over to John, our first speaker today.
All right, thank you. My name is John McBride. I've been coaching for a number of years, mostly in the Illinois Quad City area. I want to thank you guys all for having me here. I'm really excited to be in Muscatine. I moved to Bluegrass about 11 years ago, and I was coaching out in Orion, Illinois, but I ended up going to Moline as coach at Blackhawk College. So now I'm excited to be at Muscatine. I only ended up with one of my staff members from the last 5 years on our staff. He was a freshman coach, Neftali Lopez, excuse me. And he is going to take over the JV program. And I have Danny Wolf helping me, and Maddie Hepker's on staff, and Jessica Brown. So I'm extremely excited about my coaching staff. Again, when I was at a small school, I had a fresh soft coach, and then myself, and that was it. Anybody else that was on staff was a volunteer. So one question somebody asked me one time is, how's your staff shaping up? And I said, well, I'm not really sure. I get a staff, but when I got here, I learned I get 4 assistant coaches, so it's been really, really nice. Again, I'm excited to be at Muscatine. I was able to meet a few people working the football games this year, and we have awesome facilities. I mean, obviously the Van Heck Center and the new football field and the press box and the bleachers and everything. It's just fantastic. I came from Moline, who is one of the larger schools in the state of Illinois, and they had one of the worst weight rooms I've ever seen, you know, and I come out here, and the first thing I see is that weight room and the those two gyms there, and I thought, wow, this is really spectacular, and I'm really excited about that kind of stuff. So, but as far as the team goes this year, we have 6 seniors coming back. One of them's skipped last year. Her name was Meredith Connor. She came back to play basketball this year. So we have 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and then I believe I have 11 sophomores and 9 freshmen. So we have about 31 in the program, which I feel is a pretty good number. I'd like to have a few more freshmen. But it seems like we have a nice mix. I have a lot of multi-sport athletes. I think at least three or four of the senior girls are volleyball, softball, or soccer, and some of them play soccer and softball. So it's great. You know, I've always noticed as a coach or as a spectator that the soccer players can always get up and defend, and that's kind of the number one thing that we're going to work on is, you know, offensively, I mean, I know a lot about the game. I've been coaching for probably 30 years, but I always feel like, you know, they always say offense wins games, defense wins championships. You know, obviously you have to score to win. But we spend about 75% of our practices on defense, and hopefully we're going to, you know, I told the paper yesterday our motto is defend, rebound, and run, and that's kind of what we want to do this year. We're not very tall. All the girls are, pretty much the same size. And, you know, other than that, I'm like I said, I'm excited. The MAC conference is loaded. They got Division I kids all over the place, and you don't see a lot. I mean, I haven't coached a Division I kid yet, and I haven't seen a whole lot of Division I kids. I mean, obviously I have, but 2 kids from North are already getting recruited by Iowa and Iowa State, and they're only in 9th grade. And then you have 2 Division I players at Central DeWitt. So the MAC conference is going to be loaded. But I'm excited. You know, I was in the Western Big Six just as a sophomore coach for 2 years, and then I was in the Olympic Conference at Orion. But the MAC conference, I said at the meeting the other day, arguably one of the best conferences in the state, and I'm excited to be part of it now. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything.
Let's wait till the end and then.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And do it that way.
All right. Well, here's Luke Torelli, the boys coach, and awesome young man here that I have to, you know, hang out with.
Thanks, John. So yes, I am Coach Luke Turelli, the new head boys basketball coach here at Muscatine. I've spent the last 5 years, or this is my 5th year at Muscatine. Over the last 4, I've been the head sophomore coach as well as a varsity assistant. So I'm familiar with the program. I'm familiar with the kids. I really love the kids. I have a role in the building. I'm a teacher in the building. I'm the at-risk science teacher in the building, teaching at-risk chemistry and physics. I also teach gen ed science, so I'm the meteorology and astronomy teacher this year. And I'm also the at-risk coordinator in the building, so the coordinating of all the at-risk students and making sure that they're getting the proper supports necessary for them. I really love being in Muscatine. The last 4 years have been great. I've had a great experience. As well as the coaching basketball at the sophomore level, I'm one of the JV football coaches. So like Coach McBride said, I'm all for the multi-sport athletes. I want to be a multi-sport coach, and I want to keep the kids involved in a lot of things. And I'm going to really promote that in the basketball program moving forward. Some of our returners, we do have 5 senior returners that are coming back. 2 of them saw significant minutes last year, Braden Hufford and Dante Lee. And I was able to coach both of those boys during their sophomore season, so I'm really excited to get them back. We do have some very new faces. When I was hired as the head boys coach, had a couple of guys that were pretty good athletes that hadn't played basketball and been in the basketball program come out this year and we play. The one thing that I really harp on all the time with them is not giving up and, you know, just playing all 32 minutes. Over the course of the first 3 days, since we're almost finished with our first week, but we actually started on Monday, we've done 32 minutes of conditioning to finish every practice so far. And it's really just to focus on them, playing all 4 quarters for those 32 minutes because that's what it takes at the end of the day to be a very competitive varsity basketball team. So the focus has really just been on that. One of the things that I'm really trying to implement is my main 3 pillars for the program. Try to change the culture, and I think rolling with 3 pillars to give that strong foundation from the freshman through sophomore and then up until the varsity team is going to be my main focus over the course of the entire season, as well as my entire tenure as the head boys basketball coach. Those pillars are that the student is always going to be greater than the athlete, in my opinion. Really focus on the academic side of these students' lives and making sure that they can get the job done in the classroom, so then we don't have to worry about it when it comes to the basketball season. The next one, I kind of mentioned it briefly, the DYJ is one of my favorite terms, do your job. So just making sure that on and off the court, the boys know what their job is, they're doing their job, and they're following all of our expectations. So whether that's, being in class all the time, getting their grades up, and then always being at practice, always working hard, knowing their role on the team, embracing that role, and really trying to build that great team chemistry that all those great teams have always had. The last one is that you are Muskie Hoops. I want it to seem like freshmen through varsity teams, you're a part of the entire program. I want it to feel like not just, the varsity is on its own, the sophomores are on their own, the freshmen are on their own. I want it to feel like it's all 3 groups together as one big family and make it seem like less of individual teams and more of a entire basketball program. I think that when that happens, the chemistry and the communication between all of the players in the different levels can lead to some significant growth over the course of the in-season experience as well as the off-season experience. And then overall, just based on those 3, I really just want to raise the standards of Muskie Hoops. I know after Joe left, we took a bit of a dive, and I don't want it to continue to be those high peaks and low valleys. I want to see some consistent competitiveness out of the Muscatine boys basketball program, and I really want to see them take those gains on and off the court and really just develop the young men in the program as full student athletes so that by the time they graduate from high school, they're ready to be respectful, independent young men that we can all be proud of. That's about all I have. We ready to take some questions? Yep. Chuck?
Whatever you got any questions? Speak right up.
Both of you, why don't you just tell us about some of the kids that are on the team?
You mean, okay.
Individuals.
All righty. Yeah, I mean, I have one returning starter. Her name's Grace Bodie, and she has been excellent helping me out around here and doing a lot of things, but she's going to be a real leader. She's the only one. We graduated 4 starters last year, and 3 of them went on to play college basketball, so that's really exciting. I don't really think I have anybody right now that's going to be playing any college basketball, but like I have Sophia Thomas, who everybody knows as a kicker on the football team, and going to go play Division I soccer at Illinois State. Another fine athlete that's going to step right in and have a big role for us. And then Carly Ricketts, Ashlyn McGinnis, 2 other seniors that have played basketball there for all 4 years. And again, I mentioned Meredith Connor, who's coming back this year, going to give us a lot of defensive prowess and a lot of she's just got a lot of athletic ability also. And then Maya Jansen, she's our other senior, and she's another soccer player. And boy, I tell you, they can really get after it on the defensive end. And then I have one post player that actually dressed as a sophomore last year for the regionals, and that was Jasmariah Jones. And she is one that actually has visited Augustana and may want to play a little basketball at the next level. And then I'm going to actually bring up 4 sophomores this year to the varsity team. I don't know how much they're going to play, but they've been helping us out in practice and really making our practices competitive. And you know, what's different here than what's different at some of the other schools I've been at is really you have a lot. I have 15 kids that can go out there and compete, and they make practices a lot better, a lot more competitive. You know, I don't just have 3 or 4 players that I can rely on. I really have a full 15 kids that if I put them in, I would be happy with. And again, I'm really excited about that, about that part of the program for sure. So.
Metal Freers out.
Metal Freers came to 4 practices and then decided she didn't want to play basketball anymore. And fortunately, I was able to meet Coach Orvis this weekend at an FCA event, and it was outstanding to meet her. She's really a fine, fine lady. I really had a nice visit with her, and she said, that's funny because it was usually the other way around. Metal wouldn't show up for the first 2 or 3 practices, and then they'd talk her into playing. This year, she actually came out for 4 practices and decided that it's not for her. And she actually was starting to really get the hang of it, and she's 6 foot tall, and so I'm really going to miss her. And, you know, she's planning on playing volleyball in college, so I think she said she wants to concentrate on school right now, so that's gonna hurt me a little bit, but you know what? I've always told the girls I coach with the kids that come show up for the first day of practice, and I know who I have, and that's who we're going to work with, and I'm excited with the group we have. And you know, again, like Luke said, I want to develop really fine young ladies that are going to be team players, that are going to be that'll have good work ethic in everything they do in life, because you know, I probably not going to have kids that are going to play in the WNBA, so obviously they're going to have to get good grades. And I told them one of the things I regret the most about my life, and I don't regret a whole lot of things, but it was not really buckling down when I was in college, because I had 4 years that I could have just concentrated for 4 years, got good grades, and things might have been a little bit different for me, even though my life turned out very well. But that's just one thing I regret, and I hope that these girls go and work hard in college and become really great, hopefully members of the Muscatine community, but if not, wherever they go, to be able to show that they went to Muscatine High School and they're just great young ladies. That's what I look forward. That's what I look forward to, because I have a lot of kids that still come back and call me coach and want to get together and have lunch. And you know, you go to their weddings and you get you know, baby announcements from them now, which is crazy. Really makes me feel old, but it's awesome. It's just awesome when somebody comes back and calls you coach and you haven't seen them in 10 years, you know. So that's one thing that I love. I love the kids, and when I was an assistant coach, I missed you know, the things that I didn't miss, you know, some of the administrative stuff and all that kind of, you know, some of the parent stuff, even though I haven't had really a lot of parent issues in my life. But those things I decided when I wanted to come back that they were less of a negative than the positive is that I get out of being around these girls every day. Because no matter what kind of day I have, when I get in the gym, they put a smile on my face, and I just absolutely love it. And I felt that no matter what I have to do, it'll never outweigh the pleasure I get from being around these girls and being up on a Friday night coaching a game, because that you know, it just doesn't go away. And as I told them in the interview, this is my last shot. You know, this is where I'm going to end my career. So I'm hoping that it's a nice, good run, and I hope that we can get her going in the right direction. You know, it's going to be a slow process for us because they're learning everything new. I'm learning them. You know, don't even know what how my lineups are going to shake out yet, but I'm extremely excited.
Yeah. So going off of that, some of the returners with the boys team. I touched on Dante Lee and Braden Hufford, our 2 returning seniors who saw some minutes last year. We do have some 3 other returning seniors who are going to see some minutes this year as well. One of them being Connor Christensen, football player. He experienced a pretty rough injury this football season, but thankfully he has been cleared, and he's full go for basketball season, which has been awesome. His recovery process has been pretty impressive, so I'm excited to have him back. Jaime Martinez, another kid, another football player, was inside linebacker, and with basketball, when I had him as a sophomore, he actually shot over 50% from 3 over the course of the season. So really looking forward to having him beyond the three-point line, really looking for good things out of him and taking that next step from his junior to senior year this season. And then the last senior on the team is Miles Melendez, very great soccer player. And I know he is probably planning on pursuing soccer down the road, but he does some great things for us on the basketball court. One heck of a defender and a very good team leader, bringing the guys together. And I really love a lot of the things outside of the game of basketball that he does for our group. Some of those returning juniors who I actually was able to coach them last year, sophomores, Caleb Benskin, he was one of my starters last year, very athletic junior. One of the things that it's very hard to get him to stop doing is practicing his dunking in practice. So just utilizing that athleticism and putting it in a positive sense for him is going to be a good thing. And once he really takes to that, I think he's going to take some strides and do some great things for us. Another boy that I had last year is a sophomore, now a junior, Caleb Bettis, another big kid, always doing the right thing, very coachable kid. Really looking forward to him taking some strides this year as a junior. And then my two other juniors are the two that have not actually participated in the basketball program yet. A boy by the name of Paul Henry, and then Diamond Cray, two other football players who I got the experience to coach them during their football seasons in the freshman and sophomore years. And they actually really wanted to give basketball a try when they knew that I was going to be the head coach, and I'm really excited to have them out. They are incredibly athletic boys, and just working on those basketball skills. They've got some raw talent, and sculpting that by the end of the season, I'm looking for them to make some key contributions, and then especially next year as seniors, I'm hoping that they really take some strides. And then Luke Wieskamp, our freshman, who I already spoke on. The sophomore team, it's looking very good. We've got, I think after last night's final tryout, we're at 14 boys for that team right now. Really looking forward to seeing what they can do. Darnell Thompson is going to lead that sophomore team, so I'm really excited to see the steps that he takes on the floor as well as being a leader for that sophomore class. I think it's going to be a good experience for him. Two other boys that I'm really hoping take some strides this year are Sawyer Zech and Hunter Johnson, two other football guys who I loved coaching in football, and it was a little bittersweet receiving the head boys position because I wouldn't get to coach them as sophomores. So I just have to wait a year until they're juniors to have them out with the varsity, but always love being around those two. And then we're going to have two key freshmen on that sophomore team as well, boy Ian Church and Ralph Hoper. Really looking forward to seeing what they can do against a bunch of teams that, well, they're going to be a lot older than them. Jackson Othmer decided to not go out this year. I was very disappointed. I spoke with him a handful of times, and he decided on focusing on soccer was going to be his most important thing. So I had no problem with that. I tried.
Too much DNA there to not have it in London.
I know. I really tried to get him out, spoke with him a handful of times. I actually have him in one of my meteorology classes, so I get to see him every day. And I know.
Coach Torelli,
yeah.
With Luke being a freshman and obviously someone who's got the eye of social media with some of the AAU teams he plays on, how has that transition been for you? I mean, he's not an arrogant kid. The family obviously just had to prepare a young man, but how are you managing, having so much potential as a freshman with the chemistry of the rest of the team?
Well, so far, he was one of our highest attenders to our summer camp this summer, and he was one of our highest attenders in the fall as well. And just by him buying in early and being around the guys and meeting the guys, it's been a very smooth transition. And and a lot of it happens when the guys are actually playing. Some of the seniors thought, whoa, what's this freshman doing around? But as soon as you roll the ball out and they start playing, they start realizing, oh, this kid can do a lot of good things. He's going to help us out a lot. And the chemistry has really started to grow. It's obviously not where I'd like it to be, but we've only had 3 practices so far, so we've got a long journey for the rest of the season. And going off the social media aspect of what Luke can do, my biggest goal for Luke is just to be the best Luke Wieskamp he can be. That is my main goal for him, and if he can focus on being the best Luke he can be, then I think he's going to have a lot of success and see a lot of good things happen.
Luke, do you want to just also touch on who else is on the boys staff this year?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So when I got the position, I had 2 of the coaches from last year stay on the staff. The assistant varsity coach, Joel Witchers, is staying on the staff with me, which I'm really excited about. I've been working with him over the last 4 years, and he's been great to have on the staff. Our head freshman boys coach, we are retaining from last season. He's a math teacher. Very excited to keep him on the staff. 2 staff members on the boys' side. Coach Doug Williams, who he teaches and coaches football at United Township High School in East Moline. He's a college friend of mine, and he's going to join the staff and look to help out where he can. Our head sophomore coach is Mr. Brandon Van Zant. He works at the YMCA. We got him from the Wilton boys team. Really excited to see what he brings to that sophomore group. I know he's got great relationships with the kids from working at the Y and seeing them develop over the last couple of years being the YMCA sports director, so very excited to have him. And then our final new face in the staff is Coach Anthony Holmes. He has been a security guard at the high school over the last year and a half. Really, really excited to have him. I think he's going to do great things at the freshman level. And that rounds out the 6 of us.
Don't you have the kickoff tomorrow night?
Yep, so tomorrow night out at the high school, we've got the winter sports kickoff. So Muskie boosters are going to be serving a meal in the Commons from 5:30 to 7, and then starting at 7 o'clock, our master of ceremonies, Al Hilton, will start announcing our winter teams, and we'll have some exciting competitions during the night as well.
So it starts at what time?
7 p.m. for the introductions and 5:30 for food.
I was just wondering, are you guys having any scheduling problems? Like, for instance, softball teams, or other members of the conference, I've noticed a lot of schools are having fewer and fewer students out, and I was wondering, have these scheduling problems, given the experience?
Actually, it's a little better this year in the conference than in some of the years past. Everybody on the boys' side will have a sophomore team and a freshman team. Last year, for the first time in probably forever, Davenport West didn't field their own sophomore freshman team. But this year, everybody's back to both lower levels. And on the girls' side, Clinton is the only school in the conference that won't have 2 lower levels. So in some of the years, our fresh soft girls team has been a little short on games because not everybody had 2 girls teams below the varsity, but numbers are up around the conference, which is a good.
Anything else? Well, excellent program, fellas. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having us.
Bob, you got anything to say?
Me?
Yeah. Well, we're done. Thanks for coming.